There is a moth in a cocoon outside the window. It has been there for months, twisted by the wind, dampened by the rain. A reminder that the window frames should have been cleaned and painted last fall. It is spring, and there is a tiny hole in the end of the cocoon, a small probe pushing through, sawing back and forth, struggling to free the creature inside. The moth has labored for hours, and only now has it pushed 2 legs through the hole. Inside, in the darkness, does it know why it must struggle? Somewhere in the mass of cells and neurons that make up its tiny body, is it aware that the struggle is God's way of pumping fluid into its wings? If not for the struggle, it would come into the world with a swollen body and flightless wings. It would be a creature without strength, unable to fulfill its purpose. I wonder if it can sense the warmth of my hand on the other side of the glass as night falls and another spring storm blows in. On nights like this, I do not sleep. I sit awake and listen as the storms howl through the valley. Like the moth, I have emerged in a place that was once beyond my imagining. Outside, I hear a gust of wind, and I remember. I remember where I have come from, and it is as if every blessing in my life has been showered anew around me. I fall to my knees, and I thank God for everything, even for the wind, for the fragments of my life that survived it, and the fragments that didn't, and the things that were changed forever. On the afternoon of July 29, the entire town of Poetry, Missouri, was cast to the wind. The town rained down around me for what seemed like an eternity as the tornado receded into the sky and disappeared, spitting out what was left of poetry. I stood watching, thinking it was the most horrible, awesome sight I had ever seen, unlike anything I had experienced in my 21 years of living. If Daddy had been home, he would have yelled at me for not having sense enough to go to the cellar. But once you start watching something so enormous and so vile, it pulls you in just as surely as if you were caught in the vortex itself. I don't know what it is that makes people want to look into the face of evil. Oh, my God. Oh, my God, I remember saying. My mind couldn't comprehend what was happening. Only a few minutes before, I had been fixing dinner for Daddy and my younger brother Nate, listening to an old Bob Wills record, and wondering if the coming storm would bring rain. I was thinking about leaving again, having that fantasy where I packed Mama's old suitcase and went somewhere. The dream always came wrapped in a tissue paper layer of guilt, so that I couldn't see the contents clearly. Perhaps that was a merciful thing, because I knew Daddy and Nate couldn't get by without me. I heard branches slapping against the house as if the oak tree knew about the dream and was angry. Outside the window, a car sped by, a black Mercedes going too fast on the gravel, like it was running from something. It fishtailed back and forth on the curve, throwing rocks against the yard fence before it straightened and rushed onward. Probably one of those doctors or lawyers leaving the resort on the lake, I thought. Probably doesn't want his high-dollar car to get wet. They should stick to the paved roads where they belong.